A prayer, so let me see if I can get the prayer warrior on before we get into our show too far, because I think we're gonna have a good one this morning, because Mr. Elrod is running for District 1 for City Council, and let's see if the prayer warrior could ignite our spirit this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, prayer warrior. How's everything going for you?
Everything's going wonderful, sweetie. And I'm ready with a delicious word for us today.
You don't have a call, bro.
Here's my little. So let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for you to ignite our spirit.
Okay, I want to say welcome to everybody and to read this delicious word to you guys. It says, the word says, stop trying to work things out before their time has come. Accept the limitations of living one day at a time. When something comes to your attention, ask the Lord whether or not it is part of today's agenda. If it isn't, release it into His care and go on about today's duties. When you follow this practice, there will be a beautiful simplicity about your life, a time for everything and everything in its time. A life lived close to God is not complicated or cluttered. When your focus is on the Lord's presence, many things that once troubled you lose their power over you. Though the world around you is messy and confusing, remember that the Lord has overcome the world. The Lord has told you these things so that in Him you may have peace. This can be found in Euclideum 3-1, 8, 6, and 7, and John 16:33.
Well, I thank you for igniting our spirit this morning. I always get a good fix on that when you ignite my spirit, and it's really to try to ignite everyone else's spirit too. But always appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you guys very much. I'm honored for the opportunity. Brother Jay, you, Keith, you guys are on the awesome list with me. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys very much.
And we appreciate you.
Okay.
And I'm hoping everyone else listening appreciate you also.
Absolutely.
All right, baby girl. You have a blessed.
Wonderful day, sweetie.
Yeah, you have a blessed day also. Love you much.
Love you too, sweetie.
All right, bye-bye. Well, now we got that done. I want to say good morning to my guest, running for Councilman District 1.
Yes.
Mr. Elrod Broussard. Pleasure to have you here, man.
Good. Thank you for having me, and good morning to you and the listening audience. And great words of wisdom. At times we need somebody to refresh our minds as the meaning of why we are here, and not to rush things and let God pave the way for us. And we'll just follow in the words that especially what she just mentioned.
All right. Brother Jay, you want to give the disclaimer?
Yeah, yeah, we better, because on another platform, we need to get 5 disclaimers. Elroy, know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Elroy?
I'm great.
Good luck on the campaign.
Thank you very
The
much.
views expressed on this program are not those of AOC staff or management. Simply the observation from Brother Wallace and the callers, and maybe even the candidates for office. I'm put it that disclaimer.
All right. Brother Elrod.
Yes.
You're running for District 1, and the thing of it is, we have to fight for District 1, former
Absolutely.
District 3, former
Absolutely.
District 3.
Yes.
And former District 3 was a predominantly black district. and we're gonna start it off by Fix the Charter. Fix the Charter brought us to redistrict everything, and when we redistrict everything, we got gerrymandered, not smaller, but bigger, you know, and this is what given other culture the opportunity to run for the district that was so well served in the former District 3. So with that, you know, what made you decide to run for District 1?
Well, I was always involved in the community, and I'm still involved in the community. And you know, as a young man, we had an obligation to raise our family. Mm-hmm. And I took the first years of my adult life to raise my 4 children and to be there with whatever they're involved in. Whatever they're involved in, I wanted to be present. So everything else took second place when it comes to my family. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, when they were growing up, there was playing baseball, being involved in school activities and church activities. So wanting to be the father that everybody want to have. And I hope I did a good job in doing that and making sure that I do not do what so many people say that we do, be absent from the household. Mm-hmm. So then after that, after my children became young men and young women, and I said, well, you know, I take this opportunity to give back to the community that has given to me over these years, and to let my family know that you just can't sit back and say, oh, what I would have done if I was there. Mm-hmm. We always say that, you know, we should do this, and we always got a reason why we cannot be involved. And I'm not that person. Mm-hmm. I've got an opinion like everybody else, and I think my opinion is valid, and I'm not going to stand back and keep my opinion to myself and keep the struggle within me. And so I'm going to get out there and fight for my community and for the respect of the community and my family as well. So that's what made me decide for the present position I'm in as school board representative. So that's just to make sure that we stay involved in our community, because we the only one can represent our community, because we know what's needed.
Right.
Yeah.
And today early voting starts.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have no excuse.
Beautiful.
I was very disheartened with the primary election. You know, the way things went down, the deceitfulness that went down, and Hyde went down. But that's for, you know, the people to make sure that we have things that we need in our community, for our community. You know, a lot of things going on. You know, we're having different activities going on today, tomorrow, this afternoon, tomorrow, and the following week. But we shouldn't have no excuse why we can't get out there and vote. It shouldn't be none, you know. But it seems like everybody wants to, I call it shake the booty, you know, instead of go out here and vote.
Yes.
And make sure that we are well represented, you know. Like they say, can't nobody represent us like
Absolutely.
we could represent ourselves, you know what I mean? And so far, you know, we've been getting good things, you know, in our community. I see right now they putting up sidewalks, moving posters and stuff like this on the university, you know, that our council people done kind of put in line to make sure that we got things going. You know, what are your foresight for the district?
Well, you know, we always, if you be involved in the budget process, whether it be on the school board budget or the city budget, there's a lot of projects on the books and been on the books for quite some time. But at any time, they can pull the money from one project to complete another one to their discretion. They say, well, this is shovel ready and we need to do this because of whatever reason. And as I would say on the school board, you know, we're always last. We're always in the budget, but we last. And by the time it get to us, well, we had a change order with this and change order for that, so we cannot complete our project, but we start all over again, but I'm still put last. So having said that, the project that's on the books today, I want to finish it. And when you finish, when you finish something, you can enhance the next project. Mm-hmm. So the sidewalks that is being put on University has been on the books for quite some years, and they're starting to do that. But as we add the sidewalks, then we can add the full end. We're doing the full end of Willow, and we're doing some other things. They're on the books as the I-49 corridor. Then you got the Brown Park project, which is nothing but dirt now. But we've got to finish these projects in order to start another project. And when it's like getting dressed. You put on a pair of pants, then you decide what shirt you want to wear, or put on a shirt and decide what pair of pants you want to wear, shoes. You've got to complete the project that's on the books, hopefully, so you can enhance the next project. It's a building process. You build a foundation first, mm-hmm. You put up the walls and the roof. So there's a lot of things that can be done now. You know, we talk about the adjudicated property, and we want people next door to acquire the property that is adjudicated next door to their house. But the truth of the matter is, the person next door is renting the property they own. Mm-hmm. So they don't qualify for purchasing the property. Mm-hmm. So the property they own is not of quality. The property next door has zero value. So we don't move. Mm-hmm. So we've got to come to the table and have a realistic conversation about how we're going to get rid of adjudicated property. If we're not going to sell it to somebody in New York, that's fine. Mm-hmm. We want to keep it in the neighborhood, but we've got to enhance the neighborhood, and our neighborhoods are old.
Yeah.
You know, we were the original Lafayette.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we were built with, you know, one receptacle in the room or two or something like that, but now there's, you know, we've got to build houses up to code. So our neighborhoods are old and they need to be rebirthed. Yeah. And we've got to concentrate on that. We are not attracting businesses because we have no value. Mm-hmm. We've got no value there. You know, we got what, $20,000-$25,000 a year salary for the family, or 30 or 40, I don't know what it is now. But we don't attract businesses because our value is so low. We have got to start increasing our value.
Okay. Well, one way you can start increasing value is our infrastructure. Like I said, our infrastructure is old.
Yes.
You know, we got old pipes under the ground, water pipes, you know, and at the time there was more galvanized pipe than there was, like right now we putting plastic pipe everywhere. Even drain pipes is big plastic now. You know, some of them are still made out of cement. It all depends where the water is running to.
And they've been out there for 70, 80 years, and they clogged up.
Yeah.
They're all clogged up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And as a city council person, which is jumping from the school board to the city council, I can tell you, I don't stay in Lafayette Parish, but I travel the thruway constantly, coming from New Iberia. The concern that I'm hearing and doing the talk shows that we do is Evangeline Thruway. And I know it's a state road, almost with federal assistance, but how much concern should a city council, the administration have with the growth of Lafayette as far as Evangeline Thruway, the traffic, the pedestrian deaths, and so forth? Would that be a concern of you if you're elected to see what you could do as a city council member?
From my understanding, what the I-49 is going to do is going to be over. Mm-hmm. It'll be Evangeline Thruway. But the problem becomes what we're going to do beneath it.
Right.
and how we're going to make sure that the people that are traveling can exit off to shop at our stores or whatever we've got at the bottom. And we don't use Lake New Orleans. We don't let that become a homeless shelter.
Don't be caught up like Baton Rouge, you know.
Yes. I like you have traveled quite a bit, and I see the effects of a major highway going through the city, and what's down there lose business.
But would that be a concern of a city council member?
Yes. As far as what's beneath there to make people,
and it's something you could do.
Yes, that's we want to make sure that buying up a lot of properties on the side of it, but we want to make sure that the district, maybe District 1 or District 5, has a and I keep saying a value, that reason to get off to visit that our area, and not just go straight through Lafayette and start spending your money on the other side of the airport.
Yeah, well, you have to have on and off ramp.
Yes.
In the district.
Yes.
And District 5, District 1, they all combine, regardless how it go. Even though we was redistricted, it's still combined to a certain extent.
Yes, they're all connected.
Yeah.
They're all connected.
And I see they doing work on the Vandal Thruway, but they
covering up potholes.
Well,
they covering up potholes.
Well, not just that, they putting access sidewalk for wheelchairs and different things like this here.
But they're not. They're going to put some money into it, but they're not going to put. They're going to be wholeheartedly into it because it's going to be less travel in I don't know how many years. It's going to be less travel. So they're going to concentrate on something, and I'm just guessing from a business standpoint. You're going to put millions and millions and millions of dollars into a road that in maybe 10, 15 years is going to be less travel.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do something else.
They're spending a lot on the south side, though, and improving over there.
Yes,
It got to be a Broussard.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But if improving the Vandal Thruway is going to help enhance our 49 corridor, then that's fine. If that's on the books, but just to let it stay there and be a frontage road, less travel, they're not going to put a lot of money into it. So it's up to us to make sure that the Vandal Thruway as it is now is going to be well lighted. It's going to be something that we can
safer.
Much safer, much safer. That we get some input in what's going to happen with it.
But I'm hearing we got a lot of litigation going on with I-49 through Lafayette.
Yeah.
Always the difference. Like I said earlier, we always have to fight for what we want.
Yeah.
And if we're not fighting for it, we don't get it.
Yeah.
We could speak up on it, but we have to know what to do to make sure that our projects or the things that we need in our area happens,
It's somebody told me that one of the reasons why it hasn't been started yet, because fortunately or unfortunately, the way you look at it, Louisiana is flourishing, and there's a lot of jobs for these contractors, engineers, and it's a bidding process. Mm-hmm. And there's $400 million on the table now, but because they're not bidding on it, because it takes some years to build it, and we'd rather make the money quick than to be drawn out in years to come. So there's a bidding process, and we're not getting the bids in order to determine who gets the job.
Yeah, well, you only have so many contractors that will bid on it, and the contractors can't have everything. That's why a lot of time I feel that we should teach our kids how to be contractors, how to run excavators and bobcats and whatever it takes to get these contracts going. Even you need a building contract, and a building contractor could only build so many at a time.
Yeah.
But
so would you, as a contractor, would you take a job that may take I don't know, 7, 8 years to build and make $1 million, or would you take a job that takes a year or two to build and make $1 million? That's what they're looking at. They're looking at making the fastest dollar, rather than stretching it on, because it's a long project too. It's a big project, and just millions of dollars, billions of dollars, but they're looking at the short term. You can make $1 million in 1 year, or make $2-3 million in 10 years. Yeah. So, wow. But we really do need us to be involved with that. Mm-hmm. And when we sit down to the table, the question must be asked: how many people do you just tag on to your bill who has minority business? We are a small business. We don't have the $1 billion liability to bond. We don't have it because we don't make the money to do so. Mm-hmm. But if we tag on to somebody, and get the business, well, it helps us to grow. But we can't grow until we get in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I felt the Black Chamber should have been doing.
Should have been doing.
Yeah.
So we still can do.
Yeah, tag on to businesses, to make the business grow, to help them grow, to see their future, and try to get people coming and support your business, and I think this is what be happening. We not investing in our community like we should be investing in our community, and that's the bottom line, because, Elroy, I don't want to get into a competition or anything like this here, but our people that supposed to speak up for us, to make things happen for us, we not really putting forth a hard knock effort, and it's easy to say, okay, I'm gonna start this, and it's easier to quit down the road because something happened, to make you disappointed, disgusted in what you're doing. And I think if we come together better than what we are, instead of fighting against each other, trying to see who's gonna get the most money from the other side, and if we take our own heart and put our heart into it better than what we're doing, we might move projects here, But every time something want to come here, we always have to fight it, regardless how it go, whatever it is,
I totally agree, and I've said for many years, we've got what I call end pals. We got too many end pals. Everybody has their own little circle as to what they want to see happen and how they want to see it happen. If you don't do what I want you to do the way I want you to do it, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. Mm-hmm. And nothing is getting done. Very few things are getting done because we instead of we discuss things and trying to find a solution, we argue, and everybody walk away disappointed.
Mm-hmm. And no compromise like that.
None whatsoever. So even we've got many things that need to be done. Love to take care of with magic wand and take care of it, but it's just not realistic. It is not realistic at this moment. So we've got to start someplace. If we are going to build the I-49 corridor, or if we're going to bring infrastructure to the inner city, if we're going to do whatever we do, let's take the project most important. If we're going to deal with adjudicated property, we can't do the 100 things at one time. Mm-hmm. So we need to do things. The thing most important first. Important thing first, mm-hmm. and we need to do that. And I was never a proponent of a large group of people holding the conversation because it doesn't work.
Nope.
It does not work.
But what about a town hall if you have constituents asking, if elected and say, we need to have a town hall and listen and you take input from the people, the majority of the people who got the right idea.
Yes.
Something like that. And I don't see a lot of that going on with a lot of different jurisdiction election people. And like they used to have those town halls.
Yeah.
You know,
I when I first became the school board representative, I was doing the town hall, and it becomes less and less attentive, and so I had to stop doing it. It was 2 or 3 people, even though it was important. The 2 or 3 people that were there, it was important, but I stopped doing it. And I'm looking to get back to that, and the people that's in office. I think we're all friends, and we vow to work together to make Lafayette or in our area a much better place to live and to raise your family. We get back to the town hall meeting, but when we put together the 100 things that need to be done, take things in priority, and when we leave from there, this is what we're going to do. Whoever, if we got 10 people and 6 of them say turn left, then we're going to turn left.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, then we come back to the table and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to start somewhere. You got to be supportive.
Yeah.
You've got to be supportive of that work that's being done. Don't leave the room and say, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't. I wanted to do that. But, it's not as easy as one would think when you sit to the table to discuss things, trying to get things done. It's not easy like one would say.
the key if people get behind and say you have an initiative for the community and people get behind you and support you, that's what makes a strong leader in the district. Yeah, you don't have the support behind you, you can't do nothing.
It's like going to war with a 22 snub nose. You can't, you can't get nothing done. You can't get nothing done. But we need to. I've been in many meetings, and it's disappointing to a certain extent because we don't have the support there. They're saying you go to several meetings, and every meeting you go to, they got a different idea how things should go.
Well, the meeting I was going to, and I've been in this a long time, over 20 years, You always have the meeting.
After the meeting.
After the meeting.
And before the meeting.
Well, not most of the time, not before the meeting. Well, they have the meeting before the meeting, but the meeting after the meeting is the worst. Before the meeting, it's before the meeting,
Yes, the meeting after the meeting is the worst.
Yeah,
yes.
And that's the thing that hurts us, in a lot of ways. And I'm gonna bring his name up regardless whether they like it or not. Pat Lewis, was an excellent councilman, as far as I'm concerned, because he represented the district that I lived in, and most so I seen things that was being done in the district that I live in, where I roll around at, what I got to look at. And all I'm asking you is to be that person he was to make sure that things get done. You don't have to get out there and wave a baseball bat if you don't give me what I want. I'm gonna use your head for a ball. And you don't have to do none of that.
No, I know it's not my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Pat is a friend of mine. Pat is a friend of mine. I've been knowing Pat, I guess a few years prior to him being elected as the councilman, and he's a friend of mine. He's still a friend of mine, and I've spoken to Pat many times. We've had many conversations about a lot of things, and I would love to touch base with him, and I know it's not a problem. Touch base with him to see how we can continue
transition. Yeah.
Yes, into what he's doing, what he'd like to see completed first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and we're going to have that conversation because we are close enough to where I can knock on his door, and every time I call Pat, and if he didn't answer the phone, then he'd get back with me.
Yeah.
And so I like I said, Pat and I are friends, and we work together for quite some projects, and I don't really see a problem of me getting with him, because coming from the school board, to the council, two different cities.
Two different
It's two different. So even though I've been on the school board for 9 years, it's still different. It's still different. And he can school me or something. I never shy away from help. You see me all the time. I'm always around.
Yeah.
I don't shy away from people. I go to places I go that I've been going there, and I'm gonna continue to do so.
Yeah, well, like I said, he did a wonderful job, and I'm speaking from me. And I heard other people say about the things that he did. I know some people brag that live in Monroe that brag about the grass being cut on the side of the railroad track. And that's small things. He brought early voting, and then somebody else tried to take the credit for that. But he went and fought for us to have that early voting site, and you could almost say Bunny and I really pushed it early voting when we first started pushing early voting. When early voting first came out, nobody wanted us to push early voting because they were so used to doing election day voting.
Yeah.
We kind of pushes it now because we understand the value of people able to vote at the time other than one day, and that's the last day to vote, So those kind of things,
But initiatives like that, you and Bunny took the bull by the horn. You chewed on it, every time they see you chewing on it, the early vote stuff, and now it's real.
But for this election, when early voting is today?
It starts today.
Starts
today.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. We take a project, and we make sure it's complete before we do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We take that and harp on it. Bunny and I have done that. I've been doing Bunny for quite some years, and so we take that initiative, and always at council meetings or the school board meetings, and so you take that and you go with it. That's the fight you want to take, and you make sure it comes. If you say it often enough, then they're going to start listening. They're going to start. But if we say it one time and we walk away, well, they're not concerned.
Now, Mr. Elroy, this election, Brother Violence, you see, y'all are talking about election, and I get wound up. We had a discussion about that on another platform, and it got heated about the turnout. How do you feel about this past election? It could have been a better turnout for your election because you made a runoff. I don't know if you maybe predicted that you might win it outright or what, and we had some different characters in the race. And
good way of putting words.
You have to be diplomatic when you say something around here in South Louisiana. But were you disappointed, or are you somewhat enthused about you making a runoff? Because I think if more people was involved, let's say for yourself, you might won it outright.
Or if less people,
the thing is, how we get people to be motivated this election, and sometimes it's on the candidate. You got to motivate people. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well,
I say it a lot.
But you said a lot and try not to say it. So
Yeah.
I understand. That's why you did the disclaimer. I was hoping to win it straight out. With four candidates in the race, it would have been hard to do. Everybody saying it was going to be the situation it's in now. Had it been less candidates in the race, I would have. But like I said, it is what it is, and hoping, because the turnout was so low, I was hoping to get a higher percentage than I did, and I did not do that.
Right.
So I don't know if disappointing is the word I would look for. I wasn't quite satisfied with the way things turned out. And I did a lot of work. I am a hands-on person, and I knocked out a lot of houses, gave away a lot of cards, putting on doors and talking to people.
I'm on my show right
And I am, I am a figure in my community. So a lot of people around District 1 know me personally. You don't have to look, you don't have to ask nobody who I am because I'm involved in so many things.
One more thing, and I know
Yeah.
what differs you from your present opponent, y'all in the runoff? What makes you different, and why should people vote for you over the other person?
I know the needs of the community. I'm involved in the community. Been doing that for quite some years. In all my adult life, really, I've been doing it. And I don't come around once every 4 years and tell people that what I can and cannot do. And I've always had a problem with people coming to my door and say you can represent me. You don't even know me. You have not been to no function in my area. You cannot see, I got this friend and that friend you haven't seen for years. You don't know the community like I know it. You're not involved in the churches and the schools and the community the way the person that looking to represent this district is. Nothing about that. So how can you tell me what can kill me? You don't know my ills.
Mm-hmm.
You know nothing about like you mentioned Monroe. You don't even know where Monroe is at. You know what I mean? You could not name 30 in my area. How can you represent a group of people that you don't know?
And you're speaking of your point, in a sense.
Well,
yeah, I mean, that's who said that. That's who said that. If they say you don't know where Monroe is at.
You don't know where. Yeah, you don't know where Monroe is at. You know the main arteries. You don't know the street. You don't know the streets.
Okay.
But so that's what distanced me from my opponent.
Okay.
Is that this is home to me.
Mm-hmm.
This I'm not visiting. I just didn't move in. This is home to me, and I've been here.
And you know what's so cool about all of this, Elroy? We've already. Wait, hold on, Paul, hold on. We went through this, and we went through this with a fine-tooth comb when it was District 3, and when it was redistricted behind some bull crap, that's what brought us our headache. I know you've been campaigning and going through the community, but this district wasn't that big before.
Oh, it's huge.
It's huge now.
It is huge.
It's huge now.
Yes,
Because
it is.
we're not representing the people that look like us. We're not representing just the people that look like us, like we was doing before. We had a better opportunity. When it was District 3. And that was very disheartening to me to see how it all went to flop. It all went to flop, and it went to flop behind a few council people, And we all know what Mike Heffernan is all about. He's a gerrymander. He will take black kids away from white schools. He put all white kids in white schools. Not all white, but 80% of white to 20% black, and he'll put 80% black in a school with maybe 20% white. And the 20% and the 20% white that he put in there, they basically not elite kids. So those kind of things, we know this is happening, and for a man to get to Mike and say that's his man, I got a problem with that.
I understand what you and I see the makeup. I see the makeup in having to live as long as I've lived. And know the challenges that is in our community, and know what happened. When we slept away and we woke up, we see all of these separations, and it took 40 to 50 years, 30 to 40 years to make this happen. They did it little bit by little bit by little bit, and now we all
Yeah.
segregated.
But that,
You know
but
what I
that,
mean? So,
but that just like right now, they want to change Fightonville into LaPlace.
You and I had that conversation, and I'm not certain. I looked on Facebook, and I think they did a dedication or something on the Four Corners, and they painted a mural on the wall, and they had the number 4 in the corner. That's fine, but is that considered LaPlace too?
I don't know. I know I see a sign on the corner of Pierce and Congress, says LaPlace. But they're trying to bring LaPlace to basically where Black Wall Street was, and that was the block.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to change that all into LaPlace.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see that. I wasn't raised in LaPlace. I was raised in Fightonville. And all of a sudden, you're going to come and want to change the name of the place that I was raised in, not for our benefit, but for their benefit.
What was what's the reason behind it to change it from what the original name to the what's the reason behind
The reason for it is prime property. And they want to build up their businesses. You understand me?
But it's cheap property.
Yeah.
You know, it become prime because what they want to do with it. But we can do the same thing under the name of Fightonville.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many historical factors in Fightonville. The block, like you said, the block was Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
We have lost people like you and I who still remember the block and what it was,
Mm-hmm.
and that has fallen by the wayside. We don't hold our history to value, and that's the problem. We had doctor's office, dentist's office, a soda shop. We had pharmacists on the block. We had the best restaurant was Houston Cafe. It was on the block.
Yeah.
You know, now that is gone.
And everybody came through Lafayette had to come on the block.
They had to come to some of the best musicians playing on the block. But we don't have any artifacts. We don't have anything linked to the block, and most of the people are gone. They took their memories with them.
Yeah.
It's you and I are the only ones here that's trying to hold up history. Yes.
Well, you know, I'm gonna stay at it as long as I could.
Yes.
You know, as long as the good Lord see my health, I'm gonna keep talking about it. When I go to those quarterly meetings, I introduce myself as Wallace Senegal, live in Fightonville. You know, I'm not gonna honor LaPlace because LaPlace is not in my district. Okay, they're trying to put it in the district that I live in, but I live in Fightonville district, and anybody else that knew about Fightonville should be doing the same thing I'm doing.
Well, if they're trying to put the subdivision together and give it a name, then that's one fight. But if you want to change my name,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's another fight.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want me to remember my identity, you don't want me to remember how I got to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, you want to change my history or take history completely out. And in a few years, Fightonville will no longer be.
Mm-hmm.
It will all be LaPlace, and that history is gone.
Well, that's just like the block right now. You know, all the clubs and we had movie theaters down there and everything. They done took all that out and they putting houses up, you know, in the places of where we had famous nightclubs, you know.
Absolutely.
And back in the days, you know, used to try to tell, even when we first started the Black Chamber, we was trying to put some things up on the block, you know, in the old movie theater, you know. But when you don't have a vision to restaurate something is hard, you know, and all you gotta do is have a vision on restorating things. I noticed a lot of things that was downtown. They don't tear it down.
You know,
If it costs whatever it costs,
they're gonna
renovate,
renovate.
to renovate it,
They're gonna renovate.
they're gonna renovate it. You know,
They're gonna renovate it.
look at the old Hammond department store.
Yes.
What they did with that, the App Dallas, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
Woolworks, you know, the McCurry.
Everything is still there.
Yeah, everything is still there.
And there should be the history, but we need to take it upon ourselves, and I don't know how we do that, to understand the history. Like you said, the Hyman story.
Mhm.
And when we were kids, going downtown was a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a treat. Man.
Yeah.
When you go Saturday afternoon, you catch the bus to go downtown, or you walk downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a treat. The Hyman store, App Dallas, if you had enough money,
Yeah.
you know, that was a treat.
Mm-hmm.
And we you know, we have lost our wants to be
All that
our
we could
best.
be.
Yes, yeah.
all that
We
could
have
be.
we have accepted somebody else's culture. We have accepted somebody else's degree of what they want us to be,
Mhm.
instead of this is what I want to be, but this is what I think you should be. We have accepted that,
Mhm.
and you know, that's unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
unacceptable.
We talking to Councilman wannabe.
Yeah, you call you councilman already?
Yeah, Rob Broussard. But on the phone, we got Paul out of Lake Charles, and he's been hanging
Patiently.
patiently. So, Paul out of Lake Charles, you still having election lag?
Election hangover.
Oh, election hangover. You still got that hangover, man?
Yeah, I'm still drinking them Bloody Marys. To get over that hangover. That's all that ain't working.
All right.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you know, it's working. I can't tell you to take 2 or leave. And
Not with that Bloody Mary.
Take Tylenol.
Yeah.
extra strength
I
time.
can't touch that. Ali can't touch that. I'm hammer time. Can't touch that.
Shit.
Okay. Well, you know, I want to give you the opportunity. We're almost at the bottom of the
That
hour.
night out, this special hour. Yeah. That special hour.
Yeah,
Of the power. That power of power.
Brother Jay and I was talking about that. We're gonna try to get some added time to what we're
Oh,
doing.
that's a beautiful thing, man. I gotta commend y'all. Keith, Brother Vilo, and yourself, Wallace. Man, y'all ahead of y'all time. I heard you say visionary. Now, I'm looking at some visionary people. Let me tell y'all something. Hey, first of all, good morning, Lafayette. And surrounding area.
Yeah, we're going all over, man. We're going all over right now.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, brother. That's the future. What we do now is the future. What you do right now, you create the future.
Yeah.
You can't wait till the future. You do it. Whatever we do right now is how the future gonna look.
Right.
It's up to you.
That's what the prayer warrior was saying.
Let me tell y'all, brother. I'm in New Orleans. I'm on St. Louis. I'm over here. We got to power up. Sending a message to our state government, the local, federal. We don't want no more expansion of LNGs and pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well let the world know, because we got the world looking at Louisiana. It
Yeah.
ain't just us. The world with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The skunk of I'm tired of our state being the skunk of the goddamn whole world.
Mm-hmm.
We can do better, but our people got to raise your voices.
Okay.
You got to raise your voices. Like, hey, I had a brother told me, his mother told him growing up,
Mm-hmm.
close mouth, don't get
You
sick.
said.
Right.
that was my old slogan at one time.
Yeah.
Close
Oh,
mouth,
yeah,
never
oh,
get.
yeah, that's right, my
Yeah.
brother.
Greasy
Yeah.
will don't get greasy. Speaking will
You
don't
passed
get
this
greasy.
wisdom on. Hey, I appreciate y'all, brothers, man.
Right
Y'all
on.
some good people out here, man. We got to rise up, my brother.
Okay, brother
Rise
Paul.
up.
Okay, brother
You
Paul.
say your
Look.
leaders with y'all, the ballot or the bullet.
Look like some of them shooting the
Man.
bullets.
Yeah.
You know? But But
Yes.
look, Brother Paul, we appreciate,
Yeah,
always
write it down.
appreciate your call, but we got to close up, and I want to give my guest the
Whoa,
opportunity.
I apologize. And you guess, welcome, guest.
Thank you very much. I got relatives late, Charles. I don't want to say on the radio as to who they are because I don't want to put their name out there. But perhaps one day when I go to
You don't have to go no further. We all connected, brother.
when I go out there, I mean trying to look them up. I hadn't seen them in 30, 40 years. Trying to find them.
They might not know you if they see you.
They probably won't. But I'm just going to. I'm not going to mention his name, but it is a judge. It is a judge.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
Brother Paul, we're
right.
gonna holler back. Thank you.
All right.
I've been knowing this guy a long time, man. I met him through Bunny, and he been on the battlefield, for the longest, So he even ran for a couple of spots in Lake Charles. But it seemed like a lot of times the people that doing good, that's not what we want.
Don't get treated good.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I hear people talk about Trump was a good president.
I don't know the who. I don't know.
Well, they claim he gave 2 stimulus checks and stuff like this. And when it comes to money, like they say, it's the root of all evil, But people rather have $1 in their pocket than have, I want to say that, peace in their heart down the road, So, but Brother Elrod, we got a few minutes.
Oh,
I want to give you the long gone off. So
okay.
you got a few minutes to state your case, bro. Tell them your number. What number you running under?
Well, as we've been saying throughout the program, my name is Elroy Broussard. My number is 116, and I'm seeking the seat of the Lafayette City Council District 1. Most of you know me, been around for quite some years, been involved in everything in the area that is anything. And I'm presently the school board representative for District 3, which is basically the same thing, just a little bit smaller than District 1. And I think I've represented the district well. We did a few things on the school board level, a few things I'm proud of to hang my head on. We nearly completing the school, the Truman School, and he's raising the finger, and I just have a few minutes left. But I am the person most qualified to represent the district. I am the person that you see on a regular basis, not every 4 years. When you mention my name, you can see my face. I don't have to have my picture on a billboard for you to know who I am. My name is out there and my picture is in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the ballot, you go to the booth, either today, next week, on the 18th. We need to keep District 1 in the value that it is now to represent the people that need quality representation.
Okay.
Don't get fooled by the money that's being put out there. As I'm a retiree, I'm on a fixed income, so I'm just waving my hand at you, asking you for your vote, your prayer, your support, and I'm accessible. My phone number is out there on my push cards, and many of you, if not all of you, got it. And you'll be hearing from me in the next couple of weeks. I'll be walking the streets again, as I did before, wearing out a pair of Nikes, and that's how I get around. And so I'm just asking for you to give me this opportunity, and thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity to be on this station, on this airway, to plead my case. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Elroy.
All right.
Appreciate you. Well, folks, y'all heard it from Councilman Elroy. I want to thank you for allowing me to come into your home, to your eyes, to your heart, and to your ears. Until next Friday, don't forget to watch the People Tech and Talk Show or listen to the People Tech and Talk Show. That's tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That wasn't too bad.
All right.
Let me cut this stream off right here too. No open mic